Yo, what's up, guys? It's Lungi. So today I'll be playing Snake Eyes, and I'll be showing you how to play around different hand traps. So first off, we'll start with Joel and Lockbird. So we're gonna take a look at our one card combo. All right, so we've got XL. So we normal summon XL, and then we search for Populous. So this is when they will activate Droll and Lockbird. So next, we will trigger Populous as Chainlink 2, and then we will summon Populous. So since they use Droll and Lockbird, we can't get a search out, but we'll just link it away for Linkariba. So next, we'll trigger its Graveyard effect, and then we'll place it in the Spell and Trap zone. Next, we'll use Ash or XL, and then we will summon our Flamberg Dragon from the deck. So we'll summon Flamberg Dragon from the deck. So at this point, we're not going to use his effect, but we'll just link him away into Put Night early. We'll trigger his graveyard effect, and then we will summon back our Populous and our Ash. So next, what we want to do is we want to link into our Fire Princess card. Right. So then we will use the Fire Princess to summon back our Flamberg Dragon. Right. So now what we'll do is we'll use Flamberg Dragon's effect, and we will put the Put Knight in the Spell and Trap zone, so that we can revive it during the opponent's turn. And then what we want to do is we want to link your Princess and your Populous into your Whale. Right, so at this point we can end our turn. Right, so at some point during the opponent's turn, let's say they special summon something. So they special summon something, and then what we can do is we can activate this card, and then we can summon back the Put Knight. We can use this effect to target Flamberg and then target whatever monster they special summoned or some other monster on their field. We can destroy the Flamberg, and then its effect will trigger, and then we will summon our Populous and our XL, our Ash. Then we'll trigger their effects, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. If they don't chain anything, we can use our Put Knight to target and negate a monster that they control and then make its attack 0. Then we'll get both searches off. Depending on what we have in our hand, we could search for... So let's just assume that we didn't actually have any other like engine cards in our hand. So we'll search for that card, and we'll search for this card. All right, so we'll search for these two cards because they give us the best chance of actually like making some sort of comeback. So typically in the combo, you would want to destroy the Whale, but since you don't have like any other disruption, like we'll just assume that we don't have any other disruption. Yeah, since you don't have any other disruption, you want to destroy this one so you can use Put Knight to negate the effects of a monster that they control. So you destroy a monster and you negate its effect, make its attack 0, and then you search for some follow-up. Yeah, and if they choose to destroy this in battle, you'll trigger its effect, and then you'll put your Flamberg in the Spell and Trap zone. If this card gets destroyed during the end phase, you can summon it back. So yeah, so that's some recovery for this card. And then you end your turn if they can't get rid of everything. So on the next turn, what you can do is you could just like get rid of this card, link it away, or something. You could even do something like this, going to Hita or something. Then you can use this effect to revive the whale, and then you can summon this over here, chaining 1, chaining 2, target and make something 0 and negate its effects, and then revive something and then get another search off. And then this is actually enough to just game the opponent. So yeah, so that's through Droll and Lockbird. So as you could see, Droll and Lockbird is not so good against the deck. It's only really good if they hit you on the bonfire, then it's very good. But on the monsters, it's not very good because you're typically summoning straight from the deck. But next up, we'll take a look at how to play through Ash Blossom. So unlike Droll and Lockbird, you can't play through Ash Blossom with just one card. You need another card in your hand. So any card that can put itself face up is actually good as well. Yeah, we'll take a look at the worst one to have. Okay, so this would be, I guess, the worst one to have. All right, so normal summon, they chain Ash Blossom. All right, so then we can activate this. Put something face up. Put Diabolic face up. But it could literally be any other card. So then we use Exile's effect. We summon Popless from the deck. We summon Popless, trigger its effect, and then we will fetch. Origin. We fetch Origin. Then we link it away. Link Rebo, trigger its effect, put any fire in the spell and trap zone. And then what we'll do is we'll send it for cost, and then we will summon. We will summon our Oak. Right, so a special summon Oak from the deck. Use Oak's effect to revive anything. And then what we want to do is we want to use Oak's effect to summon Flamberg from the deck. Summon Flamberg from the deck. And then what we want to do is we want to link them away. So this time we will link into IP Masquerena. So we'll trigger his effects, just summon 2 back. Doesn't really matter which ones. And then we will link away into our princess effect. We will summon back the Flamberg effect, put Masquerena in the spell and trap zone. And then we will make our whale. Right. So at this point, we can end our turn. So we end our turn. Sometime during the opponent's turn, we can use Flamberg's effect to summon Masquerena. And then we can use Masquerena's effects to go into Little Knight. And then we will use Flamberg's effect to summon back the Oak, summon back the Ash. Will trigger effects. Chaining 1, 2. Summon Popless. Get Ash's effects. Search for. You can search for Kurikara, and then next chain, check his effect, and then we can maybe search for removal. Okay, all right. So this is playing through Ash Blossom. You've got some. You got some follow-up. You have Origin in the graveyard, and you have the Ballstar in the graveyard. And also you can, once you tribute Populous away, for Link-Rebo, you can put a Flamberg Dragon in the spell and trap zone, and then you can use it as cost for something, and then summon, then trigger its graveyard effect. And also you can trigger your lady. So yeah, so that's playing through Ash Blossom. Yeah, Ash Blossom is not so good against this deck. There are just too many ways um, to extend if you get ashed. Even if they ash you on your summon from deck, if you use ash to try to summon Flamberg from deck or something, you can still have extenders in your hand to make your Fire Princess, and then you can still just like extend from there. Right, so next up is Infinite Impermanence. Um, Infinite Impermanence and Veiler are kind of the same, um, except Veiler can actually be stopped by Call by the Grave. Yeah, they're kind of the same because they negate the effects, like all of the effects of the monster that they target. So if your opponent has Impermanence or Veiler, you need to have one of these cards to play through it. And yeah, like the way you play through is different with each and every card. Some are better than others. This one you're not necessarily playing through it. All you're doing is putting Star in the spell and trap zone, so you can summon it in the end phase and then setting a negation. So you still have a play with this card, but it's not exactly like playing through it technically. But yeah, these others are kind of better. So I'm not gonna show all of them because the combos are kind of the same. But I will show how to play through Impermanence with this card, which is uh, Fire Fire Recovery. Yeah, so we'll just take a look at Fire Recovery. So we normal summon Ash. They chain Impermanence. Now all of its effects are negated. Right, so we link it away into Link-Rebo. Now we use Fire Recovery. We special summon it, and then we have to send a card from our hand to the graveyard. Alright, so now at this point, we can use its on-field effect. Summon Popless effect. Fetch. Where are you? Fetch Origin. Fetch Origin. Link-Rebo. Trigger effect. Put in spawn trap zone. Origin. Go for Oak. Oak summons something back. And then from there, we tribute, and then we go for the Masquerena play. So that's how you use Fire Recovery to play through Impermanence. And the other cards are kind of the same thing. Yeah, you put another body on board, and then you summon this guy from the deck, and then you search for this either directly or through Populous, and then you just do your regular plays from there. Next up is Nibiru. So Nibiru is a bit different. You can't really take a look at like one card combo playing through Nibiru. So instead, we'll just take a look at like a random hand playing into a Nibiru, and we'll see what we can do if our opponent has Nibiru. All right, so let's draw 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So this is pretty broken into Nibiru. So what we'll do is we'll just summon Ash, search for Populous, trigger its effect, summon it, activate its effect. So the regular combo is to get this card. So yeah, this card will put Diabolstar in the spell and trap zone. Then we'll get a spell and trap negate in the end phase. So what we want to do now is activate the field spell. Alright, so we'll put Flamberg Dragon in the spell and trap zone. Right, so next up, what we'll do is link away. So we're on 3 summons. Effect puts itself in the spell and trap zone. Trigger, activate Ash, summon, summon Oak from the deck. Then we'll use Oak's effect, and we'll revive something. So at this point, we are on 5 summons. So our opponent could choose to Nibiru. So if they use Nibiru here, then they get rid of everything, activate Nibiru. Okay, so they summon Nibiru, and then we get a fat token. So now we can trigger the field spells effect. We can summon out Flamberg Dragon. So at that point would probably be the worst place to Nibiru, because you could just use the field spells effect to summon Flamberg Dragon. So yeah, that would be the worst place to actually activate Nibiru. And then you can just do your regular combo. You can just go into Masquerena, trigger Flamberg, summon your 2 guys back, and then that's just like, it's almost like they didn't do anything at all. So that's probably the worst place to Nibiru. But let's take a look at a different place, right? So put these guys back. Okay, right, so let's take a look at a different place. So we summon these 2 here, they don't Nibiru. So we go into Masquerena, if they Nibiru here, it's exactly the same. Right, so then we go into our princess. Right, so they could Nibiru here, but let's just imagine they wait for the effect. So we use the effect, we revive Oak. So at this point, right, so they could Nibiru here to stop the whale from coming out, but it's kind of the same, right? Same result for them. Even if you don't include the cards in hand, we can still play through that. But let's imagine they wait. So let's imagine they wait. So we use Oak's effect. We summon the last Snake Eyes monster from the deck. Okay, so let's imagine they're getting like maximum value with Nibiru. Right, so we'll trigger Flamberg's effect, and we will summon back 2 of our Snake Eyes monsters. Okay, so at this point they would be getting maximum value. So we've got 4 monsters here. They're holding Nibiru. Link into the whale, still no Nibiru. And then linking into Pit Knight. And then we are moving to our end phase. We're moving to the end phase. So then they decide, okay, now we want to Nibiru. So they activate Nibiru. You'll chain this one. So you'll chain this. You'll put Diabolstar in the spell and trap zone. And then these will be tributed. They'll summon Nibiru, summon a token. Then you'll trigger your field spells effect. Then you'll summon Diabolstar. You'll use its effect. And then you can set spell trap negate in your spell and trap zone. So now you've got access to this. We have Masquerena in the graveyard, and we have Fire Recovery. So what we can do is we can activate this. 1 card. 2 cards. Okay, 2 copies of Call by the Grave. Nice. If you don't want to draw 2 cards, you can just check out their hand and then take out something threatening. So you could also do that. Right. So let's imagine we just took a look at their hand, and we got rid of something threatening. All right, so we know what they're playing now. Okay, so last move you make, fire recovery. Yeah, fire recovery. Fire recovery, you summon Flamberg. And then you have to send something, so you send Kurikara to the graveyard. Then you use Flamberg's effect to place Masquerena in the spell and trap zone. And what you could do, yeah, what you could do is you could use Flame Recovery. So you banish Flame Recovery, you put one, 2, 3, right? You put 3 fire monsters back, right? So put these back in the extra deck, put Kurikara back in the deck, you shuffle, then you draw a card. Okay, Sinful Spoils. Yeah. So you could keep this or activate it. Right, so at this point, we can end our turn. We've crippled their hand. Right, so this will give us 1 disruption Masquerena into Little Knight, 2 disruptions. Little Knight's other effect, that's 3 disruptions. That's 4 disruptions. And since we'll get rid of this card and summon these guys back, we get follow up, and then we can summon Lun-Gi-Oh as well to protect the SP Little Knight. And this card will also set another card to the field. Yeah, and then this is a random draw, so it doesn't really matter. Could be whatever. So yeah, so that's playing through Nibiru with a random hand. Alright, so this last part of the video is how to play into a Maxx. Now, this is mostly for any OCG players that are watching, but you can also still put up something decent if your opponent Maxxes you, only giving them 2 cards. So we'll just take a look at the regular combo. Okay. Alright, so we normally summon Ash. We fetch Populous. Then we'll trigger Populous's effect. They will chain Maxx. Alright, so we will summon, and then they will draw 1 card. We'll trigger Populous. And then what we want to do is we want to fetch the field spell. We want to fetch the field spell. We activate the field spell, and then we will place our Flamberg Dragon in the spell and trap zone. Next, what we want to do is we want to link into IP Masquerena. Opponent will draw another card, and then we will trigger our Populous, putting Ash in the spell and trap zone. Alright, so we'll end our turn, and then our opponent will draw for turn, and then they will have 4, 5 minus 1, 6, 7. So they will have 7 cards, which is actually enough to do some damage. But there is a way for us to still fight back. So they have to normal summon or special summon. So they normal summon something. At that point, we'll trigger our field spell. Right, we'll trigger our field spell, and then we will summon our Flamberg Dragon. So next thing we'll do, we'll use Flamberg Dragon's effect, and we'll summon our Ash from the spell and trap zone. We'll trigger Ash's effect, and then we will add our Populous. Right, so we will add our Populous, we'll trigger its effect, special summon, and then we'll use its effect to search for a Snake Eyes spell and trap card. Let's search for Origin. It's the safest search. Now, at this point, you've got a number of options. At this point, you've got a couple of options. You could just go for SP Little Knight using 2 monsters, or you could go for Appaloosa for 4. They can't be destroyed by card effects. So you could go for Little Knight, you could go for Appaloosa as well. Uh, or if you play Goddess, since you have 1, 2, 3, 4, their monster will make 5. You could make Goddess with 5 materials. But I'm not playing Goddess in this build, but that is something that you could do. So the strongest play would probably be to try and go for Appaloosa for 4, giving you the most number of uh, dis, negates or disruptions, but it obviously depends on the deck. So yeah, let's imagine. All right, so now we activate Masquerena, and then we will get rid of all of them. Summon Appaloosa at 3200 attack, and then we will trigger Flamberg Dragon, and then we will chain our Populace to chain block like Ghost Bell or something, and then we will put this in the Swell and Trap zone. Then we'll resolve his effect to summon. Since you have the fuel spell, you could summon this in attack mode and this one in attack mode. And then this will trigger since you haven't. Oh no, you've used the effect already. Wait, have you? Yes, you have. Okay, so you've used the effects already, so you won't get any search effects. But you can summon them back, and Appaloosa can negate maximum of 4 times. Most likely will only negate twice, but that should actually be enough to prevent your opponent from killing you, as well as having 2 high attack monsters on the field. All right, so let's imagine they're playing a very strong deck, and then they get rid of everything. All right, so now you've got whatever cards you had in hand, 4 other cards, whatever they were, and you've got this as well. Right, in your turn, you draw an extra card. So next turn, you can just use Origin to send this to the graveyard, and then you can summon Oak, and you can chain block this one using Oak's effect. So Oak chaining 1, Flamberg chaining 2, summon, trigger your effects, and then from there you can start making plays, and then you can most likely OTK your opponent. So that's how you play into a Maxx in the OCG. In the TCG, you don't have to worry about playing into a Maxx, but Maxx is not that great against this deck. You can still make some plays, some very good plays, just using your regular 1-card combo. So that's what makes this deck very, very good. All right, so that's it for the combos. So this is the latest version of the deck. Made just a few more changes. Still playing 3 Ash, 3 Populace, 1 Birch, 1 Oak, 1 Flamberg, the Triple Souls, Triple Diabell Star, 1 copy of Kurikara, 3 copies of Ash Blossom for the monster lineup. So I think that's still the same monster lineup. Then for the spell cards, 3 copies of Sinful Spoils Wanted, 1 copy of the Field Spell, 1 copy of Origin, 1 copy of this one, Snake Eye, something. 1 copy of this card. Right, so this is new. I was playing only 1, but playing 3 this time. 3 talents. The reason why I'm playing 3 talents is I want to rip cards out of my opponent's hand If they don't hand trap me, then they're probably not going to win. And if they do hand trap me, I either want to draw or I want to cripple their hand, so I know exactly what to counter. That's why I'm playing 3 of it. Also good going second, stealing their stuff. I triple bonfire, standard. So this is also new. Fire recovery helps play through basically every hand trap, and also can shuffle back your fire monsters into the deck. And also can get rid of like any cards that are in your hand, any extra cards like Flamberg, Dragon, or whatever. So very good. Summoning back your very strong fire monsters, um, summoning back your fire princess. If you want, summoning back the whale, summoning back the whale, summoning back Flamberg Dragon. Yeah, so very very good card to top deck. I want to play 3, but there's already it's already 42 cards, and I thought about cutting this one to play like a third of this, because this is actually better than talents against hand traps. Helps you play through hand traps much better than talents. But talents does have like extra utility going second, so just decided to play 2 and then 3. No thrust in the main. 2 copies of Super Poly still, 3 copies of Droplets. It's a staple in this deck, 100%. Um, 2 copies of Call by the Grave, 1 copy of Dramatic Rescue. So this is also new. Um, so in the regular combo, instead of searching for the field spell, searching for this card so that you can activate it in the end phase and then summon Diabolstar if you don't have it, and then you can set this card. So in your normal combo, this allows you to have like a different avenue to play through Maxx, or to help stop your opponent like during their turn, and to have Diabolstar as like recovery instead of having like the field spell. So I took out the Snake Eyes Trap to add this card to the deck instead of the Snake Eyes Trap. So that's 42 cards. Now for the extra deck, the Link Ones, Link Karibo, Relinquished Anima, the Link Twos, Masquerena, Little Knight. This is new. Put Knight early. You could summon it off the whale if you destroy the whale. It's very useful for like negation. So if you summon it in the middle zone here, whenever your opponent summons a link monster, if they activate the effect, you can just chain this and then you can negate the link monster. You can also use your own effects to trigger it to negate anything. Stuff like Flamberg, that's a quick effect. Very useful card. If it gets destroyed, it just summons itself back in the end phase. Yeah, so all around very useful. And then your Charmers, Dark and Hita. Your Link 3, only 2 Link 3s, Celine and Fire Princess. And then your Link 4s, we've got Appaloosa, Access Code, and the Whale. And then we're still playing this card, the Lurlas card. We are playing in the side deck, we are still playing 3 Thrust and this guy to negate the opponent's monster effects. So we're still playing that combo with the Lurlusk. And then for the fusion targets, Garura and Mud Dragon. So no Millennium Eyes Restrict. Because we're playing Fire Recovery, it's actually better than a Millennium Eyes Restrict because it allows you to play through more variety of hand traps. Millennium Eyes doesn't stop like Imperm. Doesn't allow you to play through Imperm or Nibiru. So that's how we just took it out, and we have Fire Recovery, and then we replaced it with Put Knight. Side deck, Triple Nib, Pankratops, three thrust in the side, three evenly, three 3D barrier, one copy of Harpy Feather Storm, and then the reboot. We took out the Droll and Lockbirds because I tested more with Droll and Lockbird against various decks, and they're just like people are just too prepared for Droll and Lockbird. So instead of just trying to stop them from searching, I'm just gonna break their board that they make. Even if they max C, I'm not playing like Dark Ruler or whatever, so I can still OTK them, break their board, and then OTK them, even if they max C me. So yeah, that's the strategy. That's it for the video. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. If you have any suggestions, please give me some suggestions, and I will see you next time. Peace.